If you've followed my tale of the most expensive television show ever produced, then I've previously went over how snake-bit The Rings of Power was from the beginning and continues to be. I also talked about the major fan backlash and how the studios handled it about as poorly as you'd expect a production studio to ever handle it. I'm Troy from Marks on TV, and today I'm taking the gloves off for my very own opinions on The Rings of Power that I went in hoping to love but ended up hate-watching all the way through, resisting multiple urges to chuck things against the wall. Now, on to the story. I am now on my final point of this journey that we have been taking together. The acting and writing of The Rings of Power is just atrocious. I'm not necessarily saying that everyone in The Rings of Power is a horrible actor. You've only got what they give you to work with, after all. And these writers and showrunners are handing these actors a basket of turds and asking them to spin it into gold. Not gonna happen. Unfortunately, damn near every character falls into the modern-day Hollywood trope of being a complete and utter moron, missing the most simple signs and clues, and also acting like a petulant child with an IQ just below room temperature. Halbrand, aka Sauron, simps for Galadriel, gets turned down, and decides to go full incel and destroy Middle-earth. This after taking time off from being evil to just kinda wander, I guess? Also, Galadriel whines, moans, complains, yells, makes demands, wants to speak to your manager, puts others' lives in danger, and is just all around insufferable when given instructions or an opportunity to be a team player, or even be, I don't know, smart? She pushes that aside for her own fragile ego and
sheer hubris.
Then, the moronic writers, who the showrunners claim were always using real source material,
Go back to the book, go back to the book, go back to the book.
decided that Galadriel, who was never a warrior, decided to not only be a warrior, but a commander. And on top of that, she has to teach them boys a lesson in fighting on Numenor. You know, the Numenorian army, which is supposed to be the most skilled fighters in all of Middle-earth. But sure. With as much as the showrunners and cast claimed that there was a ton of racist backlash towards Disa, I actually thought that she was a decent character and the actress was likable. That's more than I can say for Durin III's character. He was another whiny, childlike character with a low IQ and daddy issues. There's also the Harfoot storyline. Why was this here? Why was it needed? I guess because we all need member berries of hobbits and Gandalf. That's totally not Gandalf, though. That's the Stranger. But it's totally Gandalf.
When in doubt, always follow your nose.
If in doubt, Gandalf, always follow your nose.
We needed to know that girl boss Eleanor Brandyfoot was just like Bilbo and Frodo. But even better, in fact, because she's super smart and she's not afraid of adventure, like Bilbo and Frodo originally were. We also needed to see a wizard fall to Middle-earth an entire age before they were supposed to be there.
Go back to the book, go back to the book, go back to the book.
We also find out that the Harfoots are complete a-holes, because if you get injured,
You die!
if you get stuck in a trap,
You die!
if you get a bug bite,
You die!
basically if you're a Harfoot, your chances of survival are close to 0%. Finally, this boring, unnecessary side quest story squeezed in intersectional female Nazgul, because yeah, girl power, I guess? Also, I don't think anyone absolutely hated the character of Arondir. He was relatively inoffensive. I just think that nearly none of the elves in the show actually looked like Tolkien's elves, and no, it's not just about skin color. Where's the long hair? Why aren't they tall and beautiful? They just look like randos with pointy ears. But Arondir was fine. His story was whatever. I, along with quite a few others, felt that the way that they turned the Southlands into Mordor was really weird. That's not how volcanoes work. But whatever. My issue is, when we first met Bronwyn, she was the medicine woman for the village of humans. Then, her and her idiot son kill one orc, and all of a sudden, she's their leader? They blindly follow Boss Lady Bronwyn without a single thought or objection? Okay then, because that's how life works, I guess. Finally, we've got lines from these brilliant writers like,
Rocks are sinky because they look downwards to darkness. Boats float because they look up at shiny sky.
Give me the meat, and give it to me raw.
There's a tempest in me.
Stab, twist, gut. Swordsmanship is about balance rather than strength.
What?
Fight with your feet, not your arms.
Bruh.
we also get scenes like,
Come at me.
Bruh.
cringe upon cringe upon cringe. And the sad thing is, these writers and showrunners thought that this stuff was good. Great, even. I don't know what else to say about this matter other than showing you this evidence and letting you feast your eyes upon this molded, maggot-infested meal that Jennifer Salke, J.D. Payne, Patrick McCabe, and all of Amazon laid right in front of you. The only article I'm going to reference in this video is from The Hollywood Reporter. You can find that linked down in the video description. They say, according to Jennifer Salke, the series has worked. Quote, the desire to paint the show as anything less than a success, it's not reflective of any conversation I'm having internally, she said. The second season, currently in production, will have more dramatic story turns, she adds. Quote, that's a huge opportunity for us. The first season required a lot of setting up, end quote. To the second part first, being as charitable as humanly possible, some shows do have a weak first season to do the awkward setting up stages. The Office and Parks and Recreation hadn't found their footing just yet. Many animes don't really get good until the last third of the first season, but two of those shows are low-budget mockumentary-style shows, and the others are cartoons. When you've got lore and a pre-made world and stories that are easy to dive right into, on top of hundreds of millions of dollars shoved into this gluttonous hog of a show, that's no excuse. As for her first point, the in-your-face, undeniable, unobjectionable data is, quote, not reflective of any conversations she's having internally? Well then, either you're burying your head in the sand, you're being lied to by your own people, which is entirely possible, I'll admit, or you're just trying to gaslight us again. I'm gonna go with the latter. Finally, from the same article, they say, data from Nielsen on minutes watched reveals that when it comes to original shows generally, Amazon has lagged. In 2022, Netflix hoovered up the top 10 spots for original streaming series, with Amazon's The Boys in 11th place, ahead of The Rings of Power at number 15. Using the same measurement, none of the top 15 originals of 2021 came from Amazon. Netflix again took all the slots except for Hulu's The Handmaid's Tale in 10th place, Apple's Ted Lasso at 12, and Disney Plus's WandaVision in the 14th spot. You heard that right. The Boys, which is on its third season and uses a fraction of the budget that The Rings of Power does and still produces better television, beat out The Frauds of Prime by 4 whole spots. Also, beating it out are the basic bee pumpkin spice latte of shows, Ted Lasso, a show in its 5th season with a small fraction of the budget Rings of Power has in The Handmaid's Tale, and the MCU's side quest show, WandaVision, that started off interesting, got pretty good, and then crapped its pants on the finish. A bit more from the article, they say, many current and former Amazon executives, as well as showrunners who have series at the streamer and agents who make deals there, believe that this is no accident. They describe Amazon Studios as a confusing and frustrating place to do business when it comes to movies, where Amazon's footprint is expanding following the $8.5 billion acquisition of MGM a year ago. A veteran producer says that in recent years, quote, there has been no sense of what the philosophy is, end quote, and I'll tell you exactly why that is. You don't need to be a certified real man of genius to know this, but I'll give credit to Gary from Neurotic for articulating it so well. Prime Video, just like Apple TV, is a vanity project for ultra-wealthy billionaires that are trying to drive their products. If their streaming services do well, great, but what they care about is subscribers and paying customers, getting more Amazon and Apple products. So, whether these shows and movies are any damn good is of no concern to them. Jeff Bezos wanted himself his very own Game of Thrones, and he purchased the perfect IP to do that with. But with his stupid hiring practices and, again,
Sheer hubris.
he didn't get a Game of Thrones, he got a failure like Willow. Will the Rings of Power pull the nose up in Season 2, which won't come out until next freaking year? Highly doubtful. Like wrestling's Eric Bischoff always says on his podcast, 83 Weeks, people vote with their remotes. It's a lot easier to earn their vote, but once you lose that vote and they turn you off, it's extremely hard to win them back. Thank you all very much for sticking with me through this journey through why The Rings of Power is a complete, unmitigated disaster. I even used data to back it up, besides just my own opinions. I hope you all enjoyed this video, maybe learned something, and if you missed parts 1 and 2, please go back and check those out. I'll link chapter 2 at the end of this video. If you agreed with me, please comment below and let me know where I was spot on. Also, if you disagreed with me, please comment down below as well and let me know why you think I'm wrong in your opinion. Just keep it civil, please. And please let me know if you watched Season 1 of The Rings of Power, what your favorite and least favorite parts were, and if you're going to be watching Season 2 at all. Also, please share this video around to everyone you know, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that little bell to be notified every time we post brand new content. I've been Troy from Arcs on TV, and we'll see you next time.